If you're waiting to feel motivated, you'll keep starting over. The people who change their lives don't rely on intensity. They rely on one boring habit, done without emotion, without excitement, without drama. It doesn't look impressive. No one applauds it, but it compounds quietly, and over time it changes everything. There is a habit that never trends, never excites a crowd, and never makes headlines, yet it quietly separates those who stay stuck from those who steadily rise. It is not talent, luck, or motivation, because all of those come and go. It is the habit of showing up consistently, especially on the days when nothing feels rewarding. Most people are waiting for passion to arrive before they act, but the truth is that action comes first, and passion follows later. Every meaningful change in life begins with doing small, boring things repeatedly, long before anyone notices. This habit does not promise instant results, but it guarantees long-term growth for those who respect it. Think about how many dreams die simply because they were not watered daily. People love the idea of transformation, but they resist the routine that makes transformation possible. They want confidence without practice, success without discipline, and progress without patience. Consistency feels boring because it does not give you emotional highs. It asks you to work in silence, to trust a process you cannot yet see, and to believe in outcomes that are still far away. This is where most people quit, not because they are incapable, but because they underestimate the power of small actions done every single day. When you commit to this habit, you stop negotiating with yourself. You do not ask how you feel, you ask what needs to be done. You understand that feelings change, but standards must remain. This mindset shifts your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries, and you start seeing yourself as someone who finishes. Each day you show up, even imperfectly, you build evidence that you can be trusted by your own word. That self-trust becomes the foundation of confidence, and confidence changes how you walk, speak, and decide. The boring habit also teaches patience, a skill that is rare in a world addicted to speed. You learn that real growth is often invisible at first. Just like a seed grows roots before it breaks the surface, your effort is working beneath the surface long before results appear. Many people quit during this phase thinking nothing is happening, but in reality, everything is happening. Discipline is choosing to stay when quitting would be easier, and that choice, repeated daily, shapes character. Over time, this habit compounds. What feels insignificant today becomes unstoppable tomorrow. A single workout does not transform your body, but months of showing up does. 1 hour of focused effort does not build a career, but years of consistent work does. The boring habit removes drama from success. It replaces emotional motivation with commitment and excuses with responsibility. You begin to realize that greatness is not built in moments of intensity, but in seasons of consistency. This is why the habit quietly changes everything. It does not rely on mood, inspiration, or approval. It relies on your decision to show up again and again, no matter how ordinary the task feels. When you embrace this habit, you stop chasing quick wins and start building a life that lasts. You become dangerous in the best way because you are no longer dependent on motivation. You are driven by discipline, guided by purpose, and anchored by consistency. This is the moment where ordinary people choose an uncommon path, committing to progress without applause, growth without shortcuts, and effort without guarantees, trusting that time will reward those who refuse to quit, who honor the process daily, and who understand that consistency is the quiet language of success spoken fluently by those who endure. Consistency begins to change you before it changes your results, and that is why many people never recognize its power. At first, nothing looks different on the outside, but inside, your standards are rising. You stop asking for permission to be disciplined. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions. You understand that progress is not loud. It is loyal. It shows up quietly, keeps its head down, and works when nobody is watching. This is where character is built, not in applause, but in repetition. There will be days when the habit feels pointless, days when effort seems disconnected from reward. In those moments, most people look for escape, but growth demands endurance. Discipline is not punishment, it is protection from regret. It keeps you moving when your emotions try to pull you backward, when you honor the habit despite resistance. You prove to yourself that you are bigger than excuses. That proof becomes strength. The habit also sharpens your focus. Instead of chasing many directions, you commit to one path and walk it daily. You learn to respect time, energy, and attention. You realize that distractions are expensive, And every time you say yes to comfort, you are often saying no to progress. Consistency simplifies your life. It removes chaos by creating structure, and structure creates freedom. When your actions are predictable, your results eventually become predictable too. What most people call talent is often just sustained effort hidden behind time. The habit equalizes the playing field. It allows ordinary people to outperform gifted people who rely only on motivation. When motivation fades, habits remain. They carry you forward on days. Belief feels weak. This is why the habit is powerful. Because it does not depend on how confident you feel. It depends on what you do. As weeks turn into months, you begin to notice subtle shifts. Your discipline becomes automatic. Your confidence becomes quieter but stronger. You stop announcing your goals and start protecting them. You no longer need external validation because your routine validates you daily. Every completed action becomes a vote for the person you are becoming. Slowly, your identity changes, and identity drives behavior. The world celebrates outcomes, but the habit teaches you to respect process. It trains you to fall in love with effort, not just results. This mindset keeps you grounded during success and steady during failure. You stop being emotional about outcomes and become committed to growth. You understand that setbacks are not signals to quit, they are invitations to refine. Consistency does not rush, but it never stops. It does not need approval, and it does not fear boredom. It understands that boredom is often the doorway to mastery. When you stay long enough, what once felt dull becomes skillful, then effortless. This is how lives change, not through dramatic moments, but through disciplined days, stacked patiently on top of each other, forming a foundation so strong that even storms cannot shake it. You begin to trust time again, understanding that pressure is temporary, but progress is permanent. The habit teaches humility because results arrive slowly, and gratitude because effort is always within reach. Each morning becomes a quiet promise kept. Each evening a reminder earned. You stop chasing shortcuts and start building roots. With roots, patience grows. With patience, clarity follows. And with clarity, your decisions align with who you are becoming, not who you used to be, ensuring your future is shaped deliberately, consistently, and honestly. Through this, consistency becomes your compass, guiding daily actions steadily forward regardless of noise, doubt, or delay over long, meaningful journeys. Eventually, the habit stops feeling like something you do and starts feeling like who you are. This is the stage where life begins to respond differently to you. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Your decisions become calmer, your reactions become slower, and your vision becomes clearer. You no longer panic about outcomes because you trust your process. You understand that results are delayed reflections of effort, and patience becomes your advantage in a rushed world. This habit teaches responsibility without bitterness. You stop blaming circumstances, people, or timing. You accept that while you cannot control everything, you can always control your response. That awareness is power. It frees you from excuses and anchors you in ownership. When challenges appear, you do not ask why me, you ask what now. That shift alone separates leaders from followers. The habit also strengthens resilience. Failure no longer feels personal, it feels instructional. You learn faster because you stay longer. You do not quit at discomfort, you study it. Each setback becomes feedback, each delay a lesson. While others retreat, you adjust. While others complain, you continue. This quiet persistence builds a reputation, even if no one is watching yet. Time always reveals who stayed committed when quitting was easier. As consistency compounds, opportunities begin to recognize you. Not suddenly, but inevitably. Preparation meets timing when habits are in place. You are ready because you never stopped. You do not scramble for chances, you are prepared for them. This is how ordinary routines create extraordinary moments. When your moment arrives, you are not shocked by success, you are prepared for it. The boring habit also keeps you grounded. It reminds you that success is rented and rent is due every day. You do not become arrogant because you remember the work. You do not become lazy because you respect the journey. You stay humble enough to learn and disciplined enough to continue. This balance protects you from self-destruction and keeps progress sustainable. At this stage, discipline feels less like effort and more like alignment. Your actions match your values. Your schedule reflects your priorities. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. Life feels clearer because you are no longer divided between what you want and what you do. Consistency closes that gap. Peace comes from integrity with yourself. This is why the habit quietly changes everything. It does not shout, it proves. It does not rush, it builds. It does not seek attention, it earns respect. While others search for shortcuts, you walk the long road. And the long road always rewards those who stay. In the end, success is rarely about intensity. It is about endurance. It is about choosing the right habits and honoring them daily, especially when no one is clapping. That choice shapes your future silently but permanently, turning effort into identity, identity into destiny, and destiny into a life built with intention, discipline, and unshakable self-belief. If this message resonated with you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell notification so you never miss our next powerful motivational video. Stay consistent, stay disciplined, and keep moving forward.